Hello again, and welcome to Caught Looking. As always, I am your host, Meg, and joining me tonight are Nicole, Kelsey, and Michaela. Guys, our long national nightmare has ended. Our husbands have returned from war. Guardians baseball is back. How are we feeling?
Very excited.
So happy. Desperately happy.
I'm not
Ralphie
usually a spring
Velasquez.
training girly, but I felt like I needed it this year for some reason. I don't know. Winter feels a little bit longer than normal.
2 years ago was the first time that I really got into watching spring training. I was like desperate for baseball, and I'm like, this is it. This is what I need. And it just felt like everything was right with the world.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about this last time I was on, but there's definitely a lot to be desired with the televising. I mean,
Hmm.
they were talking to Chris on the broadcast about like why is split squad on the first day? And it's like I thought it was kind of cool because it was like I was keeping up with it on Reel and watching the broadcast at the same time. There's just like so much going on that I honestly kind of didn't know what I was looking at. And it was kind of a lot of like, who the hell is this? Like, who is this person playing right now? And I made me feel kind of bad that I don't keep up with the minor leagues as much. Like I live near the captains and I could go see them and I do, but I'm just not like that locked into who all of our prospects are and like who these people are.
Well, like that is the nice thing about like actually watching and paying attention to spring training because it introduces you to all these young guys. And then you can get like you can hear about them through, the captains and the why am I blanking on all of our minor league teams
The
now?
Rubber Ducks
The
and
rubber duck.
the
Okay,
Hill
so
City
funny. I
Howlers.
went to a card shop this weekend and got my very first box. But I was
Woo!
talking to the guy there and I was wearing my Guardian shirt and he's like, "Oh, you're a Jose Ramirez fan." I'm like, "Well, I'm a Guardians fan, but obviously a Jose Ramirez fan." So we got talking. He was an Orioles fan, so I talked about Alvarez, and how excited I was for those guys to have him. But he was like, he started talking obviously cards and he's like, "Oh, I pulled this old Jose card from the Arrows." And I'm like, "Oh my God, the Akron Arrows. That's what they used to be, wasn't
Yeah.
it?" So that's where
I
my mind was going.
wonder if he had posted that for sale on eBay because I saw one like a week ago that I came real close to buying. That was a Jose Ramirez Akron Zeros card.
They don't make those that's the Heritage High or the Heritage Minor League set and they don't make those anymore. Sad.
Wow.
The
His
Ooh.
teams
Arrows
will
card is
sell in their team store, but they're not officially licensed. They are just like they
yeah, they have pro debut now. So you can get Bazana Rubber Ducks cards, but as far as the Heritage kind that the his arrows that Ramirez's arrows card is in is was a Heritage Minor League, which is defunct now. Sad.
Sad tear. But yeah, that's where my mind was going when I was thinking of like our minor league teams. I'm like, nope, not the Arrows anymore. That's not right.
I think that's like a next area to look for is like the broadcasting of these spring training games because I think that preseason for all the sports has become a little bit bigger over the past couple years. Like even football and basketball, I've gotten more into watching the preseason, and it's like I've never really done that. But maybe it's just something that I do as I get older. But I do want to watch it,
They
but
just make it extremely difficult.
yeah,
it,
it's just hard.
this is the first season where we've had live statcast for all games.
Yeah.
Previous seasons, previous spring trainings, the statcast wasn't available at every facility. So you'd like there'd be some games where you literally got no information. You didn't know velocity, launch angle, you just knew it was hit or not hit. And this is the first year that we've gotten that where we actually get live statcast information, which is where a lot of your preseason agendas can start forming, looking at the exit velocity of several of our current players.
Yes. We'll get to that in a couple minutes, but first we're going to start off with something that's, I don't know, maybe not as super exciting, I guess. Well, exciting, but kind of a
It's
bummer.
all exciting because we're talking about it.
Yes. But the whole Clase Ortiz deal, they went back to court this week, officially entered their pleas. Obviously, they are both pleading not guilty. It doesn't look like they have officially split the case yet. It looks like they are still, that was something that Ortiz's lawyer put in as a request. But also, then the judge said that there's a chance they might push back the trial to the fall into October. So that would be awesome. That would just make the entire season just absolutely stressful, more stressful than it needs to be.
It's just not, it's like they find a way to hurt my feelings over and over again. Like, you think it can't possibly get worse, and then they're like, actually, we're going to postpone the trial even more until fall when you will be thinking about playoff baseball instead of just doing it in the middle of the summer when it might not be as big of a splash. So it's like now they're going to talk about it for the whole entire year. Like, anytime we're on the national broadcast, it's going to be something that they bring up. And I know
Hmm.
we're not on the national broadcast like often, but it's still going to be like that thorn in my side constantly when we're on like ESPN or whatever. They're going to have to talk about it. It's just like, I don't know. It's frustrating. And my husband's a lawyer, so I get how it works. Like they have to postpone it because there's like a lot of stuff to go through. And I doubt that Ortiz will actually get a separate case. Like, I just don't think that that is going to work, but they're going to keep postponing it as long as they can. And I understand that, but it's kind of like now I was like preparing myself for May and like we're going to go through it. And now it's like, oh, actually, you're going to kind of just have to sit with this and not know for even longer.
So the split of the cases would be like if Ortiz would be not guilty if Clase is guilty, right? That's how it
They would
works.
have totally separate trials. They're trying to remove Ortiz from Clase's trial because
Well, yeah, but like, wouldn't it be like you can say like this is Clase's fault, and therefore I was just not part of it. Whereas if
I,
they're done together, don't they
yeah,
get the
I
I
think
don't
they
same
would be
thing?
considered co-defendants right now. So it's like I get what the lawyer's saying for Ortiz, saying like, "Oh, all of this is tainting Ortiz, who hasn't been with the team as long and has not done nearly as many alleged pitches rigged as Clase." But I think my husband mentioned he just said it would probably be really difficult logistically to do, especially because this is like the feds are doing it. Like it just seems kind of far-fetched that they'd be like, "Oh, sure, like we'll separate your case." But yeah, I think they would be like completely different trials that weren't really even like in concession with each other. Like it would be just Class A, and then Ortiz's trial would be like a different time, and they kind of would be removed from each other. But I just don't really see that happening this far into it. I mean, when was this announced? It's like been a long time since they've announced that they were both
I'll say
going to
Class
be.
A was originally suspended July because it
I was
was
gonna
right
say it
before
was
it
like
was end of
early
July,
August
right?
or late
It
July.
was right before it was like the day before free agency ended, right?
Yeah.
Because
And
we
what's
because he
weird,
was on the possible trade block because
I'm reading Terry Pluto right now, which is I didn't really think about this, but Clase is under contract for 2026 and Ortiz is not. And Terry thinks that he thinks Clase is going to end up getting paid because the NBA suspended Terry Rozier last October without pay, and then he took the NBA to arbitration and then ruled that the NBA has to pay him his salary for the season. So
well, I mean,
that
he
would just
didn't
be
get
like the
paid at all
cherry on
last year, right?
top. Well,
Because
yeah,
he
but
was
that's what happened
suspended
to
without.
Rozier.
Yeah,
He was suspended without pay, but then he took the NBA to arbitration, and arbitration was like, yeah, you have to pay him. So that's like a whole nother thorn in my side is like, we already have trouble with spending money. And now they're going to think about paying him his $4 million salary despite being on paid leave for the final 2 months of last season, is what Terry said. Man.
yeah. This everything that comes out bums me out about this
Yeah.
consistently. We also had Guardians GM Mike Chernoff went on foul territory on the 18th, a couple days back. This is one of like the first times that someone has come out and actually been like really honest, I feel like, about it. You know, he's quoted as saying, "Still, every time I read anything about it, I'm cringing. It makes my stomach unsettled just to see some of the stuff that's been written about. Yet our guys never gave up." So obviously he was, really, really proud of the way the Guardians have
Hmm.
were able to obviously come back. Like when this all happened, they all buckled down. Obviously, culture has always been a big thing in that clubhouse. They've always tried to, be a family and be brothers and really stay strong together. So in a way, I think we've talked about this before. They've just, locked in harder. And obviously it worked, 15 and a half games back when all this shit went down and came back and won the division. So,
It sucks because it's like every organization has problems and troubles and things that are salacious, but it just feels like we never quite get out of it. It's like we always kind of have something like whether it's in the NFL with the Browns or it's like our, trading Darius was just like so crazy and now it's like Clase and Ortiz. It's just like so I don't want it to keep being a point of conversation over and over. So it's like I was looking forward to the trial starting in May and just being like, all right, this is like totally removed from us now. It's actually in court, like it's being handled legally. But now that there's still so much time for like speculation and evidence and discovery, it just feels like while I'm trying to enjoy the season for the whole entire year, there will probably be more drops, like where they drop that Class A may have done something in the 2024 postseason. That was like a new bit of information. So it's just like I feel bad for the clubhouse because, he's off the team now. But it would be like really prickly in the back of my head if I had to continue to see like news articles and be like, oh, that game. Oh, that game, really? Like, oh, it would just kind of really shake me. And I know that they're a lot stronger and they'll get through it, but I just kind of thought it would be over by the time playoffs come. And now it's like I'm already dooming for that time of the year because they're pushing it back.
No, you're so right because like that's all gonna hit if we make a playoff run. It's all gonna hit right then. And
hmm
so, like you said, it's gonna just be the national broadcast. That's all they're gonna talk about. It's all the headlines are gonna run, and instead of focusing on the guys like actually performing and actually doing well.
Hmm.
well, and God forbid if, you know, Cade blows a save.
Yeah.
If something happens and he, or, he gets injured or something, God willing, knock on all the wood, he'll be fine. He'll be solid. He'll be good. But, this will be his first full season as the official closer. What
Did
was
they
it?
say that he's going to
I
be?
mean, I don't think they've officially announced it, but
Yeah.
I, I'm making the assumption that he's going to
Yeah.
be the closer for this year.
I
Um,
would too. I mean, it's like the whole bullpen I feel bad for. Like, it's so nice to have Pedro back and all these things to look forward to, but it is kind of like any time that they don't perform to this crazy statistical standard that they had in 2024 and even last year, it's kind of going to be painful to try and overcome. But the pitchers really like adversity, and Tanner always talks about that, and Gavin. It's maybe more of a starting pitcher thing, but I know that they'll figure a way out of it. But it would really suck if I was thinking about being on the broadcast. It's like I know they're probably talking about Class A right now while I'm trying to do my job and try to win this game, but it'd always be in the back of my head.
well, hopefully the guys are able to shake it off and ignore it and do their job, basically, which I think they will be. They've seemed, especially, I mean, Cade seems like the kind of guy who's able to lock in and ignore what else is going on in the world. And when he is on that mound, that is all that matters. It is him, the batter, and his catcher, and he's good to go. So I have hope. I'm hoping that that they're able to shut out all the noise and kind of make that clubhouse a safe space to, pretend that what's going on doesn't exist. Clase and Ortiz are not talked about and not mentioned, and whatever happened last year is completely done and over with, and it's not something that they even think about anymore. So yeah, we'll see what else happens as time goes on, what else comes forward. Hopefully they don't push this back. Hopefully it just gets done with, but if it does, that's what happens. But moving on to more exciting things, spring training. We are 3-0 in spring training, undefeated.
We did it.
Yay!
Who
We
else
did
has it like we do?
it. Well,
That's why you do a split squad.
at least we're not the Detroit Tigers who got their ass handed to them by the Yankees on day one. Woof. Not day one, Saturday.
Yeah.
Technically, there were games on Friday, weren't they?
Hmm.
Hmm.
But yeah, so how are we feeling so far about what are your 3 games in spring training thoughts, standouts, excitements, worries?
So my first standout excitement is Angel Martinez.
Dude looks
I like
big. I was looking at his photos and I'm like, He's bigger.
They all look bigger.
Maybe it's the focal length of the lens. I'm not sure, but those shoulders and arms, I was like, okay, kid. All
No, I
right,
mean they've
buddy.
all been working out.
So yeah.
Do I might potentially own Nolan Jones an apology. Well, time will
No.
tell.
Yeah, I was gonna say hold on to that.
So the thing I
Oh.
wanted to
No,
ultimately
please go
say
ahead.
about
Sorry.
On Hill is that there was a where he was standing on second base after like he hit or Jonathan Rodriguez walked, and so On Hill was standing on second base, and there was a split second where I was like, "That's Francisco Lindor." There was a split
Cole,
second where I'm
don't.
like, "That is Francisco Lindor. That is he looks so like just in body type now." And like I was saying in the Discord before this, I was watching hype video from that the MLB put out on their YouTube where it was the comeback from the 15 and a half
Mhm.
games back last year. And it's just watching some of those home runs on Hill hit late season. And it's just like, oh, that's, I remember why I keep telling myself to not give up on Hill Martinez. And just seeing him come back and like, Brian was watching, he goes, he's a man now. I'm like, yeah, like that is, he went from sweet baby boy on Hill to like, that's a man playing baseball now.
He went through second
And
puberty, didn't he?
yeah, pretty
He'll
much,
always be
his last
Pookie.
He will always be Pookie.
that smile cannot be not Pookie. Like,
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
but no,
He's
like
he's Mr. Smile Jr. now.
he
Mhm.
looks like Lindor's like body now.
Like body
Like,
double.
I hope that means Lindor style offense.
From your lips to God's ears, man. I'm hoping. Putting that in my brain is just it's gonna sit there and fester and I'm gonna hope and pray. I've always liked him. I remember seeing him, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, in spring training, and I got really excited about him. I'm like, he is not only just adorable, I'm like, he's just fun to watch play. He's exciting and looks like he just absolutely adores the game. So I've always been really, really hopeful for him. But yeah, and I'm excited. Hopefully he'll show up and show out.
And maybe Nolan Jones will too. Take it away, Michaela.
He hit a home run. That's all I have.
Yeah. It went
But
really
was it
far.
what was the
It was like,
EV?
Uh,
oh
Was it like 107 or something like that? Or like
I'm getting them
no,
because
no,
there's been
the Lauders, because he was about to go 3 for 3. I know his third bat was like 107, like great exit velocity.
Nolan, his exit velocity was 112 and it went 421 feet,
That's
which,
crazy.
that's pretty far.
Shohei is doing like 450, and so is Aaron, but that's pretty good. It means 30
You get
30 all
discount
time.
Aaron Judge, Nolan Jones.
so you heard it here first. Nolan Jones, next Aaron Judge.
I'm impressed with him so far too. I remember making fun of him a lot last year, so I'm
I
hoping.
Oh, I
think
still will.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that
I
he's
don't
turning a
intend to
new
change
leaf.
that.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if he plays really well, I owe him an apology. That's fine. I'm big enough to admit that. I'll apologize. I'll walk up to him and be like, "Hey, man, I said some mean things."
When it comes to
shake his
Cleveland
hand.
players, I'd rather be wrong about them being bad. Like, prove
Yes.
me wrong,
Please.
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 Absolutely.
That's been kind of the talk so far of all three games. It's just exit velocity, the core, Valera, Chase DeLauder, Nolan Jones, like everyone's just their EVs. Oh, that's nice to see things being hit in triple digits.
Yeah, in the game yesterday against this was the Brewers, right? Yeah, against the Brewers. Nojo had two of the top four EVs. His
Nice.
home run was 112.3 and he had a double for 109.2. And then Jacob Cozart was number three at 110.3. So good job, Jay Cozy.
Yeah, I've been impressed so far, just like all around. Like there's been some cool plays already too.
That Milan
I
Tolentino.
was gonna that was the one I was about to bring up.
Oh,
Like it was really cool. And then there's somebody at shortstop playing too that had a really nice like gold glove level play
that
yesterday.
was Milan.
Oh, really? Oh my
I'm fairly
God.
certain. Yeah, he dove. He was playing shortstop when he made that play. He dove for it and
Oh,
then
maybe
threw
I'm
him out
thinking of
at
there's someone
first.
in like left field that was like
There was a
craziness.
left field play today.
Oh,
I
Stuart Fairchild's
Yeah,
trying to get in.
Fairchild. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I've heard his name a lot, so that's impressive. But yeah, there's been pretty good discipline so far. Like I saw that we were scoring on like some passed balls and some wacky stuff like we always do, but I haven't seen like a lot of erroneous crazy stuff on our end. So that's been really refreshing and nice to see. I feel like preseason, like I said, I'm not like a huge viewer of it. It seems like a lot of time to work stuff out and have like the new guys out, and some of the scores are like 20-3. It's like really
Yeah.
lopsided. It feels like they're just kind of trying anything. I don't know, but I've been really impressed so far.
Yeah, there's only been one on TV, which is just such a bummer.
I know.
I was keeping up with the one today on the MLB app, trying to check it every so often and see what was going on, but
Well, the
it's
one that we
hard for
could
me to.
see on since the Cincy game had Cam Schulke too, who I wanted
Oh,
to
yes, yes,
I didn't want to
yes.
forget about.
That
Like I didn't
crazy
realize
pitcher.
he has apparently three deliveries. So he has the submariner and then he has like a sidearm and kind of a classic throw. So that was, and I saw him throwing it like 60 in the 60s, which is really elusive and weird. Like I feel like I don't really see a lot of guys doing lower velo stuff like that. So that was really cool to see. Like I said, don't follow minors really. Never heard of this guy, but it was really cool to watch. It seemed like he was really putting the batters in a terrible place too. So
I was gonna say he made some noise because the MLB was posting about him.
yeah, talking
Um,
baseball. I'm looking at their tweet right now. They said Guardians 2024 draft pick. So that's probably why
oh,
we
so
haven't
he's a
heard of him.
young
He's
kid, yeah.
yeah, he's out here throwing witchcraft this spring, is what somebody said. So really,
Fits right in with the guard's devil magic.
yeah,
Yes.
Hmm.
just what we need.
It would just be so crazy as a batter to have. I feel like it's already so weird to come into a submariner in the first place and
Hmm.
then have it be the same at bat. I just feel like that would
Yeah,
to
you
switch it
don't
up
know
like that.
where
That
it's
would
gonna
be
come from. I feel like they practice that a lot with they have like those crazy pitcher emulators now. Some of the
yeah.
teams do. So it does seem like that adds a lot of mystique to it that you don't actually know where the pitch will come from because that's a lot of where they need to start looking. So I'm excited to see more of him. I hope that he continues doing well.
But it looks like he's currently in low A.
Oh wow. I think that's the thing with like minors that I don't get into it a lot is because we draft high schoolers and it takes so long to develop these players that it's just kind of like I kind of forget about them. Like I do watch the draft. I think it's interesting to see, but some of these kids are like so young
Mm-hmm.
and they
Yep.
end up having to stay in the minors for a really long time before they even get there. I mean, Jose was like literally in the minors before he came up and played with us, and he's like the greatest player we've ever had. So it's like it's just kind of weird how baseball gets marketed like that, where it's like if you get drafted in the NFL or the NBA, it's like Cooper Flag is playing right now. You know,
Yeah.
he's not like a prospect. That's like a word that's not really used in the other sports.
Yeah, it's like the kids in baseball. I mean, they're kids. They're
Yeah, that's
getting
also we draft them
drafted.
out of high school. Like
Yeah,
they're so
they
little.
these guys, the vast majority, well, not the
Well,
vast
so are they in
majority.
the
I won't say
NBA
that.
too. Cooper Flag's like not even 20.
Yeah, the NBA does now have the rule where do they still have the one and done rule where you have to go to?
The LeBron James rule.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
basically, yeah.
LeBron didn't go to college, so
Yeah. I feel like there was talk that they may have gotten rid of that, but I can't remember. But yeah, you had to go to at least 1 year of college before you got drafted or went into the draft. Football, you have to go to college. Like you literally, that is not
yeah,
something
a high
to
schooler
not
playing
know.
football would be
They would
The
die.
a
the growth,
crime,
yeah, like literally, that is
a
absolutely
federal offense to put a high
yes.
schooler in a game
Um,
without their NFL
yeah.
players.
Because if the
Apparent
Cleveland Browns drafted a high schooler, they would put him on the field, and he would die. It would just that's the way that would work.
the Phillies apparently signed an 11-year-old from Venezuela this week.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wait,
Um
is that for real?
That's
Wait,
that's
real?
they said it's
that makes me
yeah,
uncomfortable.
he
I don't like that.
Well,
he's an
Rokio was
11-year-old
what? Sorry.
14, I think.
Yeah. Rokio
Was
was a
Graduating
baby
14.
he?
when he was signed.
Oh
Our
no.
Phillies, I looked it up, our Phillies, this is the title of the post. Did we really sign an 11-year-old? Question mark.
Yeah,
That
David
is
Basabe.
really funny.
He's literally, I'm looking at a picture of him right now. That's a child.
Oh, it's apparently called a pre-agreement. Someone said pre-agreements aren't a
Yeah.
secret, but discussing money is so dumb. It's like telling an 11-year-old you can have a scholarship to Alabama, but you can also ghost the kid when you realize he's bad when the time comes.
That's horrible. I
Yeah, it's
hate
kind of
that.
sad,
Yeah.
especially like from a different country and stuff. It's like, I won't
I
get
don't
into
like
all
it.
of the politic of that, but that is like
Yeah.
really kind of cruel.
Mm.
That is, but yeah, Rokyo, he was so young. He still looks like that too, which is crazy. He still looks like a little baby. Wow, that is really interesting.
Yeah, it is just I get the pleasure of, writing minor league recaps throughout the season, so I get to learn these names because what we usually do is like we'll watch an innings like when there's too many names we don't know, we kind of turn it off. And this year, it's been the names I don't know were all the people we've picked up. It's like, oh, I know everyone that's playing right now. Like all the non roster invites, I've written their name at some point. But like to your point about just the young and them coming up, is Ralphie Velasquez can't even legally drink yet in the United States. Like he very well, with the right circumstance, I don't want to say very well. There's a non-zero chance he could make his debut this year. Is it a slim chance? Yes.
But it is a
But there is a
possibility.
world where we need Ralphie Velasquez come September.
I mean, that's the
Um,
thing is the injuries you can't predict, and it's like that's usually how all of the young guys get these crazy starts. I mean, I don't think I would have expected Chase DeLauter to be playing in the postseason, but it's like that was really cool. And who knows, we might not have Stephen Kwan
Stop
after.
it.
I know.
No,
I'm
don't
sorry. I'm sorry. It really is
don't even put
upsetting to
that
me
out
too
here.
because me, Michaela and I
Michaela
are
is
both.
on
No,
this
Michaela and I
show.
are both like. I have a Stephen Kwan t-shirt. She gave me Stephen Kwan cards. Like it's not. This is very serious to me, and I've been avoiding the conjecture and the conversation entirely because I can't participate in it and I don't want it to be real. But it's hard to predict who's going to debut during the year because we we do arbitration with a lot of guys. We have a lot of like weird avoiding arbitration things and injuries always make a lot of different things. So it's just like it's nice to see names who you may see later on in the year in the regular season.
I mean, who was it? Was it Jose Tena too? Like made the jump from double A to his debut with us in
Yeah.
23, 22, or 23. So it's you never know. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But it is
Valera, that was another name too. Speaking of youngsters, he just hit a home run today. I'm really happy for him. I'm really excited for him again.
he's on my hype rant list for this upcoming season
Yeah.
because as we were, like I said, watching the 15 half game back, comeback, whatever. It just seeing his first home run at home, and it was like
Yes.
almost a year to the date of his surgery where he like didn't know he was gonna play ever again. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I love him.
I would die for him.
Give this kid a bat at like as many games as possible. I want to see how many just sorry. This
No, one of his home runs was my 12 Days of Christmas
Hmm.
moments because he's like unbridled joy. That's the thing about the young guys when they get these like superb moments. Same with like Chase DeLauter when he was I don't know if it was an interview when he said that he like cried thinking about his walk-up song and how everybody was singing it when he debuted and stuff. So it's like getting the new blood. It is kind of just so it brings back the joy of baseball where it's like not to name drop and be a hater again, but like the Dodgers and the Yankees, like they just don't have that beautiful thing. I think Chris Antonetti, he was on the broadcast saying that like one of the games last year, every player and every pitcher who played in that game came through the Cleveland system, the farm system. So he's like, that is something that we really pride ourselves in. It's like, I definitely agree.
I was talking with my husband about like what you're saying, where it's just I think the way I phrased it was the magic and naivety where when you do have young talent, they don't know anything except dreaming.
Hmm.
Hmm.
There's no ceiling.
Yeah, so like a more veteran and older team, 15 and a half games back, would have let off the gas and would have given up because there's no way we're coming back from that.
Yeah.
Then you have this group of so it was a mix of youth and insanity.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Just were like, nah, put shift it into another gear. It's like, no, we're just gonna keep going. Let's see what happens. And it's like when you haven't had your hopes and dreams crushed by the grind yet, and you don't like you haven't been burnt, and you do have a team that takes care of you, maybe not in contract, but in all the other parts that count of your day-to-day life, especially from the minor leagues up, because before it was in the player agreement that you had to pay for food and housing. The Guardians was one of the only organizations that paid for food and housing for the entire minor league system. So, these guys have been taken care of by this organization in all the ways that count except for their contracts. And, when you still have that, just like that doe-eyed vibe about it, it's like, yeah, I can see why when they can't spend, they're choosing to put all their chips on the kids and letting the youth play and like because it works. It does work. Like, is it gonna beat the Dodgers? Probably not. There's still a chance it could. I mean,
They're gonna have fun while doing it.
Yeah.
the Blue Jays were a couple inches from beating the Dodgers. Who's to say Chase DeLauder and George Valera and Brian Rocchio can't slap hitting shit goblin their way to a World Series? Like, Kyle Manzardo's gonna hit like 40 bombs this year, and it's gonna be great. Like, we're gonna have fun, and that's the best I can ask for being a Cleveland fan ever, or in a Columbus fan. It's just let's have fun with it, and they're having fun already.
I have a quick segue, but that's still about spring training. I have pulled up the ABS challenge system results from first day of games.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually very interesting. Across 5 Cactus and Grapefruit League games, 23 total challenges were utilized, good for an average of 4.6 per game. Of the 23 challenges, 13 calls were overturned, making for a 56.5%
Hmm.
success rate.
Interesting.
That seems
I'd
really
be
good.
interested to see what that breakdown is. Who was it, pitcher, hitter, or
Who made the
catcher that
call?
made the
Yeah.
call? And who got the most right? I do know Hedges made a call. He was the first one to, as a catcher, on the Guardians in his game yesterday, on Saturday, sorry. He challenged one of his pitchers. So Cantillo, I think, was pitching that game.
Mhm.
It was called a ball. Austin challenged it, and it was reversed to a strike. And then I know in the Cincinnati game, one of our younger hitters challenged. I missed the name. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that. I
Why
remember
did I feel
watching
like
that
it
one
was
too.
he
Joe
challenged
Lampy or
it as
someone
a
like that?
hitter. What? I'm sorry.
I feel like it was like Joe Lampy or someone like that.
Possibly.
It
It
was,
was later in the game, so it was
yeah.
definitely one of the like really like single A or double A kids, and he did not get it overturned. But then I do remember also Matt and Rick saying later in the game he was up again, and they were like, "Ooh, he should challenge that one." And then they're like, he probably doesn't want to because he lost the first one. But they were
It'll
making
be
comments that he had challenged the first one, lost it, should have challenged the second one because he may have won it, but his confidence was probably struck from that.
It was
it'll,
Lampy.
Mm.
yeah, okay. It's
Yeah,
Joe
Nicole
Lampy,
was
yeah.
right.
I was
Yeah.
cause I Joe Lamp needs to pick how Lampy needs to pick how his E's are sounding because it's either gonna be Joey Lampy or Joe Lamp.
Yeah, I don't, I'm sorry if I said it wrong. I just I pronounce everything kind of literally until told otherwise.
It's like Julio Jones. It's either Julio Jones or Julio Jones. I need. I can't do this.
Be
Um,
consistent with your grammar and letter sounds, please.
no,
But
it'll be
the
interesting to see the first few challenge like this until spring training, like first few months with it.
Mhm.
How many of the people who are like quick to challenge or more confident are probably going to be the kids who were in the minor leagues the last few years? Because the minor leagues has had this for last
Hmm.
2 or 3 years
Yeah.
at this point. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how long it takes someone like Jose to get more comfortable with it. Or
say
I
even
will,
I
s-
remember it's an option.
yeah. Go ahead, Meg.
No, I was gonna say I've seen not the Guardians specifically, but I did see a couple of like little videos and reels and stuff from other teams, their social media teams doing like Q&As at the as players walk in and whatnot. And one of them, I can't remember which team it was asking all of their guys who should not be doing the ABS, who does not get to challenge. And universally, almost every single guy was like, pitchers don't get to challenge. Like that's not because every single thing, every ball thrown is a strike. So
So
I
real.
I remember we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but I think I would trust Gavin to challenge a pitch, and I would trust Cade to challenge a pitch. I'm not sure if there is another pitcher in that pen or a starter that I would trust to challenge a pitch.
Yeah. Probably not.
Additionally, I would also put Arias on the short list for being banned from challenging.
I mean,
Nothing
honestly,
against
I'm
him.
gonna go out. Yeah, no, definitely Arias. No, you're right about that. I'm gonna say Rokio too,
I was
just
gonna say
Yeah,
because.
I
Rogio,
was gonna say
he swings at stuff like straight up at his forehead. So
Yeah,
it's
I
just based
miss
on
me with
like
that.
who tries to call for a challenge when they're like so obviously out at the bag. Like that's the baseline for this. Like
yeah, no, that's a good
Arias
call.
and Rokio are the first to be like, challenge, challenge, and they're like, bro, you were out by like 3 feet. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like he's trying to
Embarrassment is
tag him out as a steal or like a as a stretch out. They're playing defense, trying to tag somebody out. They're like, "Oh no, I got him," and it's like, dude, you didn't. You really, truly did not get him. Please stop. But
There's
yeah, there's
another interesting stat, though. The most action and overall success rates came between the D-backs and the Rockies. The two teams combined for 7 challenges, 6 of which were successful.
wow.
The D-backs were successful on 4 of 5, the most attempted and successful challenges of any team, and the Rockies went 2 for 2. It seems like maybe, I don't know, maybe they're like running drills. I will say not having the strike zone on my TV is physically painful as
Yeah,
somebody who doesn't have a good idea of like what the strike zone is because I'm not a man and I'm not tall and I just don't I don't really know what counts. Like, they're like, "Oh, it's they showed like a picture during the
It's
game when Chris
knees
was
to
on
letters.
and it's just too much for me to really understand. So I'm kind of missing the little square on the
yeah.
TV. But
Oh,
it
I
keeps
miss
the
the square.
suspense of this of when they do the challenge. It's like, oh, I don't know either. I'm
We're
really
all gonna be
excited to find
surprised.
out. Yeah, it does add like a whole new layer of like, oh yeah, that was a strike. I think I remember doing that with Lampy when he did his challenge. I was like, I don't think that was a strike. And then it was like literally directly in the strike zone. I was like, all right,
Like, oh, I'm really bad at
sure.
this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm a bit of the unpopular opinion that I don't mind getting rid of the strike box because it does like so people are so vocal and so wrong online so often
Hmm.
that it's like they'll sit there screaming like, oh, that was his like, okay, no, it wasn't. Like if you are the MLB put out like a quick little quiz. I think it's either MLB or the Athletic, and it was like you had to guess from a home place umpire's like perspective
Mm,
if a pitch was a ball or a strike. And I took it because like, oh, this will be easy. Whatever. No, I
Mm-mm.
was off by like, and you have to do it real time. And there's a timer of like how long you have to make that decision.
Oh, it's
And
insane.
I was like, I think I got two right, and one of them was Shane Bieber. And I was like, that doesn't count. I looked at his pitches too much. I knew that was going to be a strike.
Well, like I've seen like those ump cams that they'll sometimes have in some games, and I'm
I
like, I
like
don't
that.
know how the hell these guys do it. So what's really interesting is I saw someone took an average of like umps in the 90s and like umps today, and they showed basically how good most umpires actually are, especially compared to the 90s. Like in the 90s, the zone was actually not as tall, like I'm sorry, the average umpires called zone compared to the actual legal zone. The called zone was actually much shorter, whereas modern day umpires almost fill the box perfectly. Like it was actually very interesting to
I
see. I'll have
remember,
to see
yeah,
if I can hunt
that
that
heat
down.
map. Yes, I
Yeah.
think my husband sent that to me too of how much better it's getting. It was a really interesting
Yeah, it
picture.
was it was like obviously like the bad umps are always going to be outliers because we're going to see them more. It's going to be more obvious. They're talked about more online. But like overall, your average ump is actually doing a really good job. I took a screenshot of that ABS strike zone that they talked about on broadcast on Saturday. So the strike zone width is obviously the plate width, which is 17 inches. The strike zone depth is 8.5 inches to the middle, 8.5 inches to the back. So it's like from the middle, 8.5 inches forward and backwards. So 17 inches total for the entire plate. And then the top and the bottom is this is where it gets weird. It's technically legally from the bottom of the zone is 27% of the player's height. Top of the zone is 53.5% of the player's height.
Hmm.
It's
I'm like, are
knees to
you?
dips is your
Yeah,
general like
exactly.
rule
Yeah,
of thumb.
that's the general eyeball of it. They also mentioned on broadcast because this was during the Reds game. Will Benson was up, known Guardians killer. Jesus Christ, he hit another home
Karma
run
card.
against
I
us. What the
can't.
hell, Will?
He has a vendetta.
Truly, like you got Tito back, man. Come on. Like I don't know what it is against Cleveland as a whole now, but cut us some slack. Quan's one of your besties. Chill. But they were mentioning how now with this automated strike zone, his strike zone, because he's tall, is going to be bigger than Quan's strike zone because he's shorter. And like obviously it's like you understand that at like a level when you think about, shoulders to knees or whatever. But it's interesting to think about that now, like legally, you know, the catcher might or even Will himself will probably have a better chance of actually getting something overturned because it's actually outside the zone or the catcher might get it because his strike zone is now so much bigger because he's got more space to work when it comes down to it.
And Rick and Arch talked about it, but I've been impressed with how seamless it is. I saw it in the
Hmm.
minors, like the couple of games that I watched, and it is actually really well done. Like the NBA challenges are horrible.
They take
Yeah.
It
forever.
is horrible. And I get it, like there's more going on. It's not like a cut and dry thing. So it's like some consultation is required. Same with football. Football doesn't feel as annoying for some reason though, but both of those are just like, oh God, it's really taking forever. It takes you out of the game. But
They
I've
sometimes
been
go on for like two commercial breaks in the
yes,
NBA. It's
they come back and they're
insane.
like, we need to go
Yep,
for
like
a
nope,
break
that
again.
New
But
York
this
has
has
no
been
idea what's
great.
going on.
I'm impressed. I think I can't remember if it was Rick or Arch that said calling the game would be really annoying now though, because he'll like make a really big call and be like, "Oh, he struck out the side. Oh, he's challenging the call." So that'll definitely add like a new layer as a fan too, to be like, "Oh, I'm not so sure like if we're actually out of it." But it's super fast, so it's not going to be that terrible. I'm super impressed so far with it.
Yeah, I do hope that at some point here, the one thing that I do like about the NBA, regardless, even though they take friggin' forever, they explain it very
Mm-hmm.
well
Yes.
about what the challenge was, why it was overturned or why it stays, who was involved, et cetera, et cetera. They are very, very thorough in telling you exactly what happened, what is going on, and why it's standing or being overturned. And then there's baseball. When a play gets challenged, they're just like, overturned, let's go. Like they say nothing.
Yeah,
And
the
even
runner
on
is out.
broadcast,
The
yeah,
call is
exactly.
over.
They're just like, all right, well, guess they're not going to tell us anything about why they'd made that decision.
In a
Like,
sport that takes 3 hours to play, they're like, oh no, let's speed this up.
this is this is where they're time
This,
crunching and they're saving time.
yeah,
Manfred's
Yeah.
he's put the call in. He said no explanations. We need to keep this under 2.5 hours, or I'm gonna scream.
we are on a
Uh,
timetable here. We have to get this. This has to be faster.
I was just looking at other things to talk about as we were talking. I didn't realize this. So Pablo Lopez obviously is getting Tommy John, which that's really crazy for the Twins. I feel kind of bad for them. But now they said that Joe Ryan was a late
Yeah.
scratch in
hmm
today's game, or I guess it was on the
It was
21st on
Saturday's game, wasn't
21st
it?
game. Yes,
Yeah.
to have an MRI. I just don't
Did
I
he
guess
have
like
the MRI
Like him.
today on Sunday?
I don't see that's like the last thing I see about him, which I actually kind of like him because he's kind of quirky with it.
He is a
Um,
goober.
I
oh,
like
they
him
say good
actually.
news on Ryan is what Twins Daily says, but it's still kind of, I don't know, just
Wasn't he having
weird.
back issues last year too?
Yeah, I think he maybe
I
was
feel like I
having some
remember
type, yes,
hearing
lower
something
right
about that.
back soreness. Imaging showed that he's only dealing with inflammation
Oh yeah.
instead of a far more serious issue. I guess I just don't
Yeah.
know what happened to Pablo. Like, I don't really follow other teams super closely, but I did hear about that, and I just thought, like, that's kind of weird. It's kind of like what happened to Shane. Like, he played one game, and then it was over. So it's
So
just like I feel really bad that it's
I like
over
followed
before it started.
the Pablo Lopez BFF on Twitter
Oh yeah.
like the day before that happened.
Oh no.
And she was literally like just posting like pictures of Pablo Lopez. Like, so it literally was like you said, it was just something just happened.
Yeah, it seems so weird to me. Like, obviously, injuries are sudden like that, but they had barely played anything. It just was really very surprising. I would be really despondent already at the start to have something like that
Well, especially their
happen.
season last year too was a huge like that. Their trade deadline was an absolute massacre. I like how you started this off as like, I feel so sorry for the
Well,
twins. And now you're like,
that's the trade deadline is different. That's
Oh,
This
I
is
funny.
felt
sweet. And
I
then they're
felt
sour.
so bad. Oh my gosh. I was like so sad for the Twins at the trade deadline.
I say I've
I'm
got
so
some twins friends, regardless
I
of
was
the
like kind of
rivalry.
devastated for
Oh
them.
yeah, I reached out to a couple of the
God,
girls
it's
that I follow, and
funny.
I'm like,
Come on.
I'm so sorry. Like they were devastated, and I
Because if that
totally
happens to
understand.
us,
Oh my God, I would be like,
I
dude,
same situation live mate.
I was in tears when the Bieber trade got announced. I was like,
Oh
ow,
my
oh, and
God.
I was so anxious leading up. I mean, I'm sure nothing like you, Michaela, but the just refreshing to make sure that Quan didn't get traded. Oh,
I'm
I
mentally
can't
prepared that
imagine
it's
just
happening
like
this year.
I would have shut down my phone if like after the first two Twins trades, if I was a Twins fan, I would have avoided the internet, shut down my phone, and be like, I'm not doing this. I'll come back to this tomorrow because that was devastating.
So
Oh.
much.
I am mentally preparing myself for a Quan trade just so that if it does happen, I'm prepared.
On the off
Right.
chance, I
On the
still have
off
hope.
chance,
I have
yes.
hope.
I yeah. But
Maybe
maybe.
maybe he'll get if he does get traded, he'll get traded to the Giants and be back with his BFF Will Brennan.
That's true. That would be
Oh
fun.
God, that would be
Ugh.
really cute. I'm also thinking if he goes to the Orioles, that would bring me a lot of joy because
That'd
I'm
be
married
fun
to a
too.
Mets fan or to a Pete Alonso fan. So that would be a delight for our household. Um,
I'm trying
big
to
win for
find
me
his
personally.
interview that was very, that was like off-putting and what made everyone
I
really
didn't
concerned.
I didn't love that. My only positive take. So when he was like, "Yo, we're gonna play center field, whatever, that's fine." Um, but now we have Reese Hoskins out of nowhere.
We
That
do
was
have Reese
so
Hoskins out of
crazy.
nowhere. Like that, no one has even, it was just Stebbins and Mizell were both like, hey, Reese Hoskins is in the clubhouse and he
Yeah, it
has a
wasn't even an
uniform.
announcement. It was just like
No, they were just
Reese
letting us
Hoskins
know
is
that
here.
that he's in
He's in
the
the
club.
lineup today. I don't know what
And
happened.
he's wearing Guardians clothes or something.
BT Dubs randomly just hanging out, guys. Like
I
what?
forget who it was. Someone's like, "Oh, did he's just a fan that got past security."
I
Yeah.
saw that. They're like, what if he's just there because he's having fun?
So what's funny,
No,
like
That's
also someone dug up some old Reese Hoskins tweets from a couple years back. He went to a playoff game in Cleveland in like 2019, I want to say 2018. And like he posted like a photo of himself sitting in the crowd in Cleveland, just hanging out. And then he went to a Browns game like that same weekend or something
Huh.
like that. And
Hmm.
posted, he's like, I love football.
welcome to Cleveland.
yeah, that was
Hell
not
yeah.
fun in the middle of the third period of the
Oh
men's
God, yeah, that
BFF
Yeah.
was
gold medal game. My phone's going off. I'm like, this isn't helping. I'm having a heart attack right now. My blood pressure's already through the roof. I'm about to pass out. And then I'm like, oh, apparently we signed Reese Hoskins.
I just thought it was fake.
okay.
I was like, okay.
The fact that it came
I
from
thought
Mizell and Stebbins, I'm like, this is obviously real, but I don't understand
What is it?
why. What's happening? Yeah,
and
like
then it's It's just a hit, and his contract is just the base minor league.
It's a minor
1.5.
league. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
even
Yes.
major league.
He,
So we don't even have
but
to
it's
drop
just
anybody from the 40 man. He's just hanging out in the minor league right now.
it's just like
He's just here to chill for spring training.
are we sure there isn't mold in the clubhouse and this is just a group hallucination? The
Well,
Yankees had their sewage issue. Maybe we're having a mold issue.
they said that Reese Hoskins' .748 OPS would have ranked third on the Guardians when he
oh yeah,
had a
Yeah.
down injury plagued year. So I think it's like that's what's so hard for me to understand is like I know who Reese Hoskins is. And usually when we sign somebody, I'm like, who? Like it's usually
exactly.
never a
Like
superstar
when we
sort of
signed Lane Thomas, I was like, I've never heard of that man in my life.
Yeah.
I already miss him though. I really liked Lane.
No,
I
I
feel
really
bad it
liked him,
didn't
but I
work
had
out. But
no
yeah,
idea
I
who
was
he
like,
Dude,
was.
Nationals, okay.
I live in the DC area and I'm like, who from what? Huh?
Oops.
What? Yeah, I had no
But
idea. I fell in love with him very quickly, but
Yeah.
um
The Lane train sadly departed.
I know, bummer, bummer. But I saw somebody mention something that like the fact that Hoskins is mainly first base and DH, does this mean that because originally David Fry was just going to start catching and
Yeah.
then possibly working up to first base. Do we feel like this means possibly that they feel more confident in Fry and his arm, and he might go back to his super utility use quicker than they had hoped?
I mean, Bryce Harper bounced back pretty fast. It's a little easier on the position players to bounce back from Tommy John than it is pitchers because they're not putting as much strain. They don't have the weird grips that's contorting their ligaments,
And
what
they
have
don't
you.
have the ball for every single pitch too. Like
Yeah,
they have
they're
it's
not
one
throwing.
throw, possibly an inning, unless
Yeah,
they're
they're not throwing 100 pitches or 100 throws a game.
yeah.
Listen, if Bryce Harper can do it drinking raw milk, I think David Fry can do it drinking pasteurized milk.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying. Shout out to the Phillies and their hyperglycemic crime chamber. That's a Dragon Ball Z reference, abridged reference. But yeah, I think why not? Why not? What do we have to lose putting David Fry's elbow on the line?
We have David Fry's elbow to lose.
He already put his face on the line. What's
That's
left?
true. I mean, that guy, he is
and it
literally just he literally put me in, coach. Wherever you want me to go, I will be there. Like that's what David Fry exudes.
his face feel healed so nicely.
It
You
really
can't
did.
even it I was like I saw that today and I was like, "Oh my God, David."
He did get hit
You
as Squidward.
It is weird. Like I kind of forgot about that because I just didn't notice it very much. But it is kind of
right.
crazy to just
You looked
I feel like I could never play again after that. I mean, like it would just be too scary. Which I feel like I haven't seen him have that issue. Like I'm pretty sure he had a hit. Like he's been
He
fine.
played catcher
Yeah, but I
in
mean like
today's game.
batter,
Like,
I feel like batter's so much scarier because you don't have all the gear. But like I haven't seen him be like I feel like after a baseball player gets hit, sometimes they're kind of like in the
Gun shy.
next time. So I'm excited to I think he looked
oh
comfortable
yeah,
and
he did. He
fine.
got a double
Yeah.
one of in Saturday's game.
Yeah. So I mean, I would be personally terrified. But it's not his first rodeo.
Hold on, I
big
just
dick
looked up. I
David
was
Fry.
look. What'd
He
you
has
say?
to play well so he can convince Tarek Skubal to join the Cleveland Guardians next year.
Detroit didn't even want to pay him that much. We're not gonna pay Tarek
This
Skubal.
is where Carl Willis just goes, I have one veto where you have to sign who I tell you to. I've been holding on to this for 20 years.
People keep floating like taking Lindor back too, and it's like I don't think so,
No,
guys.
I'd rather
That's
get
really
a
sweet thought, but I don't really think
We're
so.
allowed to have
I'd rather
hopes
get
and dreams
Scooble.
I
here.
know.
Doesn't matter how silly they are.
Imagine bringing LeBron back for the farewell tour and then having Francisco Lindor come back. It'd be so
That'd
so
be
very funny.
amazing. So I have
Welcome,
to throw in
welcome
this.
back.
Tim Stebbins put together an article about Fry that was posted earlier today, possibly, maybe, or yesterday. I'm not sure which. But Fry is quoted as saying, two TJs and a broken face, and I got And I get to go back out there and catch and throw. Sunday was so cool. Fry quipped while adding his face is great, healed up, and prettier than ever. You're right, David. Your face is prettier than ever. But yeah, he was it looks like he did pretty good. It looks like this Stebbins article says David Fry really wanted to throw the ball on Sunday afternoon. His pitchers weren't allowing much traffic on the bases for him to contest would-be base stealers. He's like, I just want to backpick somebody. I just want to throw the ball and be back to being a normal catcher. Oh, David.
Baby.
I
I
want to
love
be a
that.
normal boy. I want to be a
Pookie.
normal boy.
There's
Uh,
also discussion about who will be the starters then coming for pitching. And they're talking about Parker's going to start in AAA, which seems like a lock, apparently. And then everyone's saying the rotation is going to be Williams, Bybee, Coney, Allen, and then Cantillo. But then someone said that Logan Allen's going to be in the WBC, the World Baseball
Yeah.
yeah.
thing. So he might have to start like in AAA just like for rest reasons, depending on how things shake out there. Which I guess I haven't really given a lot of thought to the starting pitching, just because it doesn't really feel like we made a ton of changes. But
It was all in our bullpen, I feel like.
yeah,
We picked up a ton of pitchers,
yeah.
but they were
It was
all
like, oops,
bullpen
all
guys.
pitchers.
Yeah, literally. That's enough slices. But yeah, I'm excited to see if Hoskins makes it out. Looks like he's been having some health problems. I think last year he
Yeah.
was injured for the majority of the year or for a portion of the year. I'm not exactly sure. It's interesting that he made it through off season with apparently no offers or at least no interest and then just took a spring training invite with us basically in a minor league deal. So interested to see where it's low leverage and it like it's one of those things where it's like, well, yeah, you kind of have to take this deal. You kind of have to sell him, take him on for 1.5 and see where it goes. And if you have to end up DFAing him later on in this season, then you really don't lose too much.
Oh yeah, it's completely low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a 34 home run season. That would be our best.
Yeah.
So
I know, like Jesus Christ. Like this is oh, so
he
pathetic.
like instantly became our third best hitter, which
Yeah.
is disappointing.
I hope some of our kids, I mean, like that's I'm praying, guys, that some of our kids make a dent, that they come up. Like, I'm super, super hopeful for Valera, super hopeful for CDL, obviously.
I'm
Just,
big on CDL. There's very few of our minor league players that I'm actually big on, but CDL is one of them. Him and Bazana. That's it, really,
yeah.
unfortunately. But
And I do still think that, barring injuries, knock on wood, Bazana does make his debut at some point this year.
That would be
I,
so great.
I'm guessing May or June, unless,
Nicole just did the absolute cinema post, like when
arms
talking
up
about it.
overhead.
It was like
Yes.
this. It just cracked me up.
No, so a couple months ago I was watching like I forget what it was. It was just kind of like disappointments from the year and like it was all of Bazana's class that made their debut and how
I
they like
know.
a bunch of them kind of just weren't quite ready yet. It's like, oh wow. It's
Oh, look at
almost as
that.
if they all needed another year.
Right.
I know, but I want to see him play. Ah.
Yes.
But I mean, the
He'll
thing
be
is, they
ready
are
this year though.
they're
He's
moving him
Yeah.
up. The thing is, he started in single A. He started with the captains and then
I
went
should
to
have seen
Akron
him.
really quick, and then ended the season. Was he with the was not
so
sorry, Lake
he went
County
he was with
Captains.
the captains when they
Clippers
won.
is Columbus. There
Yes,
we go. I was
Columbus.
told, yeah,
So his
Fake
first, because
fan.
he was drafted in June.
yeah,
So he went immediately to the captains,
yeah.
Yeah.
won a championship with them, started in Double A last year, and then ended towards the tail end when like Ralphie
Oh, that's where
and
I was getting confused because he started halfway through the year.
Yeah.
yeah, and then so he ended last year with the Clippers, which means he'll probably play at least like you said May June, like at least the first half, and then we'll see how the trade deadline goes, and then see if that's when they want to bring him up towards the end of August or September. Because I wouldn't
he's
be
all
surprised if he does like a Manzo thing where he comes up in June, goes back down, then comes back up for playoffs.
he also is playing in the WBC.
Yes,
Mm.
he is. So he'll be nice
So
and stretched out too for the
yeah.
remaining of spring training and when he goes back to Columbus.
Did you guys see that Australian pitcher throw that palm pitch?
No.
Okay, if you're ever bored, look up there's a pitcher for Australia that so it's gonna be Bazana's teammate and he throw his release is literally like a palm and it is wild to watch. I don't know the guy's name. I
Is
just there's
it
an
Josh
Australian pitcher.
Tolles? I just looked him up and Pitching Ninja has something on that guy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh yeah, that looks like that's him. We'll have to look him up. But yeah, WBC is going to be happening really soon. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I don't like it. That makes me
Isn't
uncomfortable.
that
No.
so gross?
I just pulled up a video and I'm like, absolutely not. I don't like
Yeah.
this.
I think I'm rooting for Australia
I
because I
don't
don't want
know
to feel
who
like
I'm
Aaron
rooting for.
Judge.
I'm half tempted to buy an Australia jersey.
Oh my God, I literally okay, so when forget who got Corbin Carroll got hurt and was like not gonna be in the WBC and then I'm like, oh Stephen Kwan's gonna play. And I was like, I don't know if I want that actually. I actually kind of don't want him to play, thank you.
Like
But
low key, I'm not upset that Jose isn't playing in at least like the opening round.
correct.
Like I'm like
Yeah.
if he's able to get back and play later games, then maybe I'd be into that. But yeah, I'm like, you know what? Not I'm not too mad, especially with
Yeah.
like I feel like so many people are getting injured more and more over the past couple years. Like,
Everyone's hamate bones are exploding.
yes. Oh my
Well,
God.
that was the big hot topic was like how many of the players can't represent their country because they won't the insurance
Yeah.
they would not be insured. Like Lindor was a big
I'll
one.
say it was
He
like three
once
Puerto Rican players that wanted to
Puerto
play for
Rico
Puerto
is having
Rico.
the biggest issue with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Bad Bunny was like, hey, I'll pay for their insurance. And the teams are like, I don't care. No, they're not going.
it's kind of
Sad.
crazy how much the teams get to control that because it's like the winter leagues too. Like the team
Yeah.
can just say no, and you can't do anything against it.
Yeah. Like part of me understands, but also part of me is like, that's kind of a bummer. Like it's like well, it's like the Olympics. Like for years, the NHL players weren't allowed to go to the Olympics. And this is the, first year that they were allowed to do that. And
And look how beautiful it was.
exactly.
And
It
then
was
Sidney
I'm
Crosby
not
got
even a
hurt.
hockey fan, but my God, those games were
But Sidney Crosby's like at the end of his career. I mean,
Fair. No, yeah, it was. That is like the greatest example for it because like they were talking about. I think it was Andre was asking like if you would play the World Baseball Classic in the summer, where would you put it? And they all like the All Star Game and like NHL's kind of moved to who knows if it's going to stick because it hasn't been a full cycle yet. Where like they'll do an all-star game, then they did the Four Nations face off, and then they had the Winter Olympics. And it sounds like that's kind of the cycle they're gonna do is like next year will be an all-star game and then another Four Nations face off and kind of just keep cycling that. And it's like to do that where we'd have an all-star game and then one year during the Summer Olympics or during the WBC, put that during the like do a 2 week all-star break where so MLB players can go represent their countries in the Olympics, Summer Olympics, and in the WBC, and just have an extended All Star break. But the issue with that, the NHL did a compacted schedule, so like there was a lot more back to backs this year than in normal schedules. So you would see a lot of double like scheduled double headers to have
mm,
to make up for that, which does not give much wiggle room if you have a rain out. Because now you're looking to reschedule 2 games instead of one, but I really wish they would try it once just to see if it could work. Because it
I
would be
would
so cool.
I wonder if we could do instead of like the double headers, we get one extra person or two.
Their 13th, or yeah, it's your
It's one
27th
extra
man.
person, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I would be interested to see if like they could either maybe just expand the roster through the entire year for that, for because it's every 4 years that this would not the WBC obviously, but the Olympics specifically, since that one actually does fall in the middle of the summer. Like for the year, could you permanently add like two or three more people to the roster? Give them a little bit more flexibility. Have the ability to do a 6-man rotation.
There is
You
some
know,
precedence with that. With the COVID year, they gave them 28, and then you had the taxi squad for the
oh yeah,
playoffs. And like I think they kept the 28. Like you get a week with 28 people on your roster, your opening day roster. I might be mistaken and might be
I
misremembering
can't
it.
remember.
But there's precedence. And this is coming up, the Summer Olympics is the perfect time to do it because one, it's being hosted in LA.
Hmm.
This, the 2028 Summer Olympics are in LA.
It's like no,
So
they're not traveling for it. You're not going across the
you're
world. You're not going
you're
to
already in the
Australia.
States. We already have all the baseball stadiums here. So you can like because the Columbus Crew Stadium is hosting some of the Olympic soccer matches. So why not test it? You're gonna be coming out of a lockout anyways. Like give the people as much baseball as you possibly can.
True.
Okay, I have one argument against this.
Go.
I think, well, okay, so I think baseball's a little bit more global, and you'd also have to deal with the KBO's team and the NPB's leagues as well. So you'd be also, I feel like when you're just halting like the NHL, that's just like one major league that's altering it, but like there are three other huge leagues that play, and the NPB plays a longer season than us anyway. So I don't know. I feel like it's harder when your front runner team, right? Team Japan also has like an entirely different season. So now we're having the front runner team also have to
Well,
navigate. If you're gonna do it like on a world stage like that, I feel like you have to include.
well, yeah. I
You have
mean,
to.
I would it wouldn't be like MLB hosting it. It'd be the Olympics. It's just the MLB would incorporate it into their season. Do
Yeah. I
the
just meant, but like then we'd have to have the other leagues also incorporate it into their
do they
season.
not are I'm not familiar. Do they not already play in the Summer Olympics? Do the professionals from Japan and Korea not get to represent their teams in the Summer Olympics when they have baseball? Because like
Mm.
minor league players are allowed to represent their countries in the Olympics. Like I just remember Ryan Lavarnway was like the one person from Columbus that went to the Olympics. I just think you can't be on the 40 man or something like that. I don't remember if there's an actual rule or not. Because if they're already incorporating that, and it's just I'm not trying to fix it. It's just a what if.
Yeah. No, it does. It says they were so okay, you're right. You were right. I'm incorrect on this.
Oh yeah.
So the NPB pause is their season every year for because they're I think they're already playing for their season this year. Like I think they already started like actual season games.
Well, yeah, because
So
last
they
year didn't we
paused.
play we played our first game in Japan? Like,
Yeah, and they're already in the season. So they
yeah.
pause for the Olympics and they pause for the World Baseball Classic. So I apologize. I am incorrect about that. So you're right. Now the MLB has to get on board because we have another massive baseball 360. I'm sorry.
TLDR, get
If
fucked
another
Rob
other massive
Manfred.
yeah, if another massive baseball league can do it, why can't we?
Yeah, and like I said, this is the perfect Olympics to try it because you don't have to worry about building new stadiums. You don't have to worry about visas. Everyone's already here. Like,
Yeah, it makes
if
sense.
Japan and Korea are already going to be sorting out their side to come play here, why can't we just figure it out?
Just pause the season, guys. Everyone, then it just shifts the audience into the Olympics, and then hopefully you'll get more people into MLB when the Olympics are done because people will be like, "Ooh, baseball. I just watched all these guys and I fell in love with this guy and now I want to watch him all the time." So yeah, hopefully maybe that's something they'll talk about during contract negotiations for the CBA next year, off season, this off season, whenever that's going to happen.
There's
We'll
gonna be no
see. So
baseball.
many mysteries lay ahead of us. But yeah, I think it's safe to say we are all very excited for baseball to be back. All very excited that spring training is happening. I think our next televised game is possibly Thursday, but it's going to be on the visiting team network, and then our guys going to be a radio simulcast game. The only two games that our normal television crew of Matt, Rick, and Andre, they did the opener and they're doing the closer, and that's it. Apparently, they're MLB is like, get out of here, guys.
Great.
You're done now. I don't know what's up with that, but it's going to be simulcast with Hamilton and Rosie for the other 10 to dozen or so televised games. So I think Saturday is going to be the next Guardians hosted Guards TV televised game. Michaela, was there anything you wanted to talk about when it came to baseball cards?
So Topps Rip Night was just this yesterday. It was the 21st. So they always do it during spring training. So all the card shops down in Florida and Arizona get crazy players get to come to the shops and stuff. So up north we don't get that. But so Rip
Womp
Night
womp.
was last night, and I've never seen. I went to two different hobby shops, and they were both insane. The hobby is so alive right now. It's just absolutely bonkers. It's great that there's just so many people getting into it, and I'm grateful for that. The only really other thing besides that I wanted to talk about was that Topps Heritage. The pre-order is tomorrow, so this will actually be today, the 23rd, when this comes out. Heritage is always has like a throwback year. This year it's going to be 1977, so it'll be all modern players on the 1977 design. These cards are also known for being relatively affordable. They have a longer checklist. Instead of like 300-ish players, there's 400. They have a color of the year this year, which is Heritage Orange for number to 77 for the 1977 design. And yeah, so Heritage is just cool. It's always like a nice throwback card set. I probably, even though I'm doing no rip 2026, I'm probably gonna buy one of these hobby boxes because it's one of my favorites. It's fun. The cards are cool, and there's tons of like weird variations. And I think it's my favorite part about Heritage is like, so last year they had flip bat variations, or like the bat on the back of the card was like upside down instead. Or if they have like they'll have image variations or name variations or city variations where instead of saying like Cleveland, it'll say Guardians on the card, or they'll have they had cartoon variations last year. It's just a lot of fun. There's like a lot to sort through when you get to open those. So I'm a big fan of Heritage, and it's relatively inexpensive compared to like Chrome and all of that. So that pre-order is the 23rd of February.
That's
That's all.
exciting. Something to
There's
keep
no
an eye
check,
on.
yeah. No checklist, no odds yet. I don't like doing that. I don't like buying without a checklist or odds, but I would expect a similar checklist to see Series 1 that just came out, but with a few more bigger names mixed in.
So I actually had something that I wanted to talk about when it came to cards too, because I saw something pop up that I thought was actually pretty interesting. So a ESPN article came out today. A recently discovered 1909 Sweet Caporal T206 Honus Wagner card has been sold at auction, and it is now, I believe it said, the third highest recorded card sold at auction for $5.124 million.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the third most expensive, sorry, T206 Wagner that has been sold. The one thing that was struck me about this particular card was that it has been held by a single family for 116 years. The card belonged to the Shields family, whose grandfather, Morton Bernstein, was the son of the founder of the National Silver Company, and he collected and preserved trading cards from the early 1900s. I guess he purchased this card originally or found this card or pulled this card originally, and has
I
just
think he
passed it
actually
down.
pulled it.
Wow.
That is super cool that
Yeah.
like if he actually
So
was.
I think you had pulled it. It was this is where the tobacco cards come from. It was from an
Mhm.
actual cigarette thing. And so like today in modern you can buy cards that are that size and they're called tobacco. It's like the tobacco size. But yeah, I think he pulled it from an actual Sweet Corporal like cigarettes box.
Wow.
Yeah, so he passed it down to his family for the, past three generations or so, and they decided to, for whatever reason, finally sell it. But yeah, and it pulled because it's one of the rarest cards, went for $5.124 million. It was graded, this particular card was received a one grade from PSA. And the other two Wagners that were graded by the Sports Card Guarantee Corporation, the SGC, received grades of 3 and 2. Is one the highest, or is how does that one go?
Oh, a 10 is the highest.
Got it, got
So
it,
these
got
are
it.
terrible
Yes.
condition. Um, so yeah, so like it's so fun. How old cards great is crazy to me. And so usually, so vintage cards, pre-war era cards, people usually prefer those in SGC slabs. Those are the black ones. They're called like tuxedo slabs, if you ever see one. I personally hate them. They are my least favorite type of slab, but we're seeing like a switch towards PSA for more vintage cards. So I was kind of happy to see this. I don't know. I just don't like the look of SGC. But yeah, no. So there's a PSA 5 that sold in this card, but it was a miscut. So that one only that sold in like 2016, I want to say. I think that was the highest grade that we have on this card, on this like a specific
Mhm.
Honus Wagner card. But it was a miscut, so it was, even though it was like it was in the best condition. But yeah, so the fact that this was a PSA 1, and there's some modern people collect only PSA 1 cards of like modern players, which I think is just like such a fun way to collect.
Wow.
I love like the goofy things that people
Yeah.
do. Like that's absolutely that's valid. Collect the worst ones.
Oh
That
yeah.
sounds
That's my favorite. Or when people from like the junk wax era try to get a PSA grade or a grade of like every single card, right? So they have like a PSA 1, a PSA 2,
oh,
and a
that's
PSA all the way
interesting.
up, and then they get them all framed together. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. I
Wow.
like that. I like those fun things. I saw
That's
somebody who was searching for a PSA 5 of a card the other day. Like, I need specifically a PSA 5, and I was like, that's crazy. Good luck.
Very
Yeah.
most average.
It's like they buy every single one they can find on eBay and then send it to PSA
I
to
was
get
like, can you
graded.
just like damage them yourself? Couldn't you just
Yeah.
like, can I just like start crumbling them up,
You would
dip them
think
in
that
the
at that
water?
point they would understand like what enough damage would be to get it a 5. Like
Yeah. I think, well, so PSA, if you damage it, the grading companies will say that it's been like manipulated. The card has been manipulated, and then they won't grade it. So it has to be like an
Mm,
authentic damage.
okay,
wow.
sure.
I know.
I'm sorry. Are you monitoring me every moment I have this card? Like what? How?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. They'll yeah, they're on to people. There's one guy on Instagram he does Pokemon. He just like repairs Pokemon cards, and I'm pretty confident the companies have him on lock. They are like watching him like a hawk.
Hmm.
The more you know. It is
Yeah.
crazy. All right. Well, I think that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you, ladies, Nicole, Kelsey, and Michaela, for joining me tonight. And as always, thank you all for listening. And real quick before I shut down, big shout out to the Twitter baseball girls who have joined us since last week. There's an awesome movement started by Liz, who is a Tampa Bay fan, and it has really just exploded. And it's been a lot of fun on Twitter and in the new Discord that they made to see all of the baseball girlies out there having fun and hanging out and supporting each other as we as women should. We reached out for possibly some guest segments from other teams. So hopefully we'll have a couple other teams to preview or recap kind of like rivalry games with other teams' fans. So keep a lookout for those episodes this season. And if you have interest in joining us for a specific team, give us a holler, shoot us a DM, join our Discord. We'll take down your info and we'll see if we can get you in on a show. But thank you, everybody. So be sure, obviously, stay tuned and follow us on your favorite podcasting app and all of our social channels so you guys don't miss anything. And as always, whether you are here for the hot takes, the heartbreaks, or the home runs, don't get caught looking.
Go guards.
Go guards!